Hey there nation, Commander Cheapskate here, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. And on today's episode, we are back on an episode of Cheap Shots, the series dedicated to showing you money-saving tips on the wargaming hobby. And on today's episode, we will discuss how to use the new upcoming Hernkyn Yaegirs Kill Team box set in your games of Necromunda. We will review the box set's contents, discuss the potential narrative, how these fighters are in the Underhive, discuss the gang's playstyle, provide a 2,000 credit starting roster for your first campaign, suggest how this game could develop over the course of a campaign, and give you our overall conclusion on this box set. Now, as you can see here, what I'm doing in this video is I'm actually reviewing the latest batch of kill teams coming up from Games Workshop and how you can fit these miniatures into your games in Necromunda. And the reason why is because they're beautiful miniatures, and at the same time you can use the same set of miniatures for multiple games with one set of miniatures. And considering how things are going with the economy right now and how people are trying to, save money on things, saving a lot of money, having a lot of fun with multiple games with the same set of miniatures is an absolutely amazing idea. And of course, as always, when it comes to these kill team lists, you do have to be comfortable with using proxies, but that's just the way it goes because cheapskates are going to save money and not blow their money away on things that they don't need. So with that being said, let's go and talk about exactly what's exactly in this box set. Now here's a photo of the box set of the Leagues of Votann Hernkyn Yaegirs that are available from the Kill Team, upcoming Kill Team box set that was revealed at the Adepticon 2024 preview. Now these guys looked absolutely amazing on that video. It's actually one of the highlights of that actual teaser trailer reveal, and these guys look awesome, right? These are your typical Hernkyns who are having their orange armor. They got these beautiful, great overcoats that they have, as well as really cool looking close combat weapons. Now what we know about the boxes so far is that you definitely get 10 Hernkyn Yaegirs, but as to what it actually contains in terms of weapon options and things, we are using speculation at this point because this box set hasn't been released yet. However, based on this picture, there are some educated guesses that we can take that's available for this list. First of all, this is going to be a very close quarters battle oriented kill team. That means it's going to be fighting mainly in close to medium range with their shooting options. They do have a few long range options, but not very many of those. We see a lot of them carrying bolt shotguns, daggers, picks, long rifles, grenade launchers, as well as pistols. And we're going to use those and proxy those as things like stub cannons, brute cleavers, power knives, stub guns, long rifles, grenade launchers, etc. And we're also going to try to find a way to fit in the squat characteristics from the League of Votann and try to fit them into the campaign setting of Necromunda as well. So that's what was inside the box set, and that's the challenge we're going to try to do in order to make sure we can get these miniatures in our gangs and talk about our roster. Unfortunately, some players out there will not be cool with you trying to use Kill Team box set miniatures into your games in Necromunda. I'm not sure why, since they both take place in the same setting. But anyways, in case someone wants a narrative background for this, you could always say these guys are squat Venator bounty hunters who are abusing steroids and other chems in order to do their jobs. I'm serious, these guys look really, really cool. They got some series 90s Delac trench coat vibes going on with these guys and look absolutely fantastic, especially when you combine with the miniatures and the weapons the guys are carrying as well. And these guys have kind of like this weird kind of combination of cowboy western space dwarves, I guess, with the way that they're looking for and everything else. So if your opponent is wondering how you could justify using these miniatures, I would tell them just to shut up and play. But if they're definitely going to be trying demanding on that, just say that they're squat Venator bounty hunters who are actually in the depths of Necromunda looking to earn kills as well as money. Now the playstyle for this particular list is going to be very aggressive because it's going to be primarily a close quarters battle list, which means you're going to be doing a lot of fighting within close to medium ranges in terms of shooting and probably a lot of hand combat as well. This group's going to have a lot of stub weapons inside of it. It's going to be abound with that as well as with some power weapons as well to help them out in close combat too. We're going to use Venator Gang and use the squat characteristics that come from the Venator Gang from the Book of Peril. That's usually the number 2 characteristic slot that they have, and that's what we're going to use to mainly flesh out these characters. And because we're using House Goliath Legacies with this Venator game, that gives us access to gene smithing upgrades, which would be really nice as well. Now, just to give you a further hint, there's not going to be any vehicles in this list. It's going to be purely set for the Underhive, and the reason why is because there are no vehicles in the Kill Team box set. The assumption I'm going with this is that you're just using this one single box set and you're trying to use this one box set into your games of Necromunda. Now, the nice part is, of course, if you do want to get vehicles because you want to play in the Ash Waste, the Hernkyn Pioneers will be a wonderful addition with their hover trikes that you could use for your vehicles if you want to do that as well, which is also kind of cool, all things considered. Alright, so let's go and talk about the starting roster for this one. This is going to be a 2,000 credit roster. It's going to be the Hernkyn Yaegirs Venator Gang for the Ramthian Secession for Necromunda 2024. Like I said before, it's going to be 2,000 credits. We're going to use a House Goliath Legacy for all the fighters. The primary skills for this gang are going to be cunning as well as shooting, and their secondary skills are going to be combat as well as ferocity. So first up's going to be your Hunt Leader. This character's going to cost 245 credits as well. This guy's going to have House Goliath Legacy with Natborn as well. He's going to have the Clever but Cautious ability because it's going to give you +2 to his intelligence, +1 to his willpower, as well as -1 to his cool. He's also got the Physical Perfection special, which means he can spend his experience points to increase his strength as well as toughness stats as well. You're also going to give this guy the Gene Smithing upgrades Adaptive Mind, so that way Combat and Ferocity, which are the secondary skills, become primary skills for this character, as well as Prime Specimen number 1, giving him +1 to his Ballista skill. And like I said, you're going to use characteristic number 3 in the list, which is the close combat characteristic, and the reason why is because these guys are doing primarily close quarters battle as well. Now, to equip this guy with mesh armor, as well as a stub cannon with a power knife, as well as a stub gun with dum-dum rounds, as well as commanding presence. So this character is kind of equipped kind of basically, but the reason why that's the case because a stub cannon is still a very powerful weapon. Same thing with power knives in close combat, and you want that commanding presence to have that larger group activation as well. After that, you have Hunt Champion number 1. It's going to cost 245 credits. This character is also going to have a House Goliath Legacy as well. They're going to be a Natborn with costing 20 credits with their Clever but Cautious rule, meaning that their intelligence is increased by 2+, as well as 1+ willpower, -1 to their cool. They're going to have Physical Perfection, a special rule, as well as the Adaptive Mind ability, so that way they can have Combat and Ferocity be their secondaries. And they're going to have Prime Specimen, giving them +1 to Ballista skill. Once again, using characteristic number 3 from the Book of Peril list for these guys. These guys have Mesh Armor, Long Rifle with an Infra Sight, so that way you can shoot in all vision conditions, a Stub Gun with dum-dum rounds for a backup weapon, as well as the Fast Shot ability, so that way you can shoot that long rifle twice per activation. Now the next character is going to be Hunt Champion number 2. It's going to cost 230 credits. This person is also going to have the House Goliath Legacy with Natborn, with Clever but Cautious, as well as Physical Perfection, Adaptive Mind, as well as Prime Specimen with +1 to the Ballista skill. They're going to have characteristic number 3, as well as Mesh Armor, as well as a Grenade Launcher with Frag and Crack Grenades, and this person is going to have Stub Gun with Dum-Dum Rounds, and this guy's going to have the Overwatch skill, so that way you can interrupt enemy activations with a Grenade Launcher. Champion number 3 is going to cost you 250 credits. This character's got House Goliath Legacy as well with Natborn upgrade, Clever but Cautious with their stat upgrades with Physical Perfection. They have Adaptive Mind as well as Prime Specimen with +1 to their Ballista skill. They have a characteristic number 3, and they're going to have Mesh Armor, Power Sword, and Power Knife, a Stub Gun with Dum-Dum Rounds for a shooting attack, as well as Rain of Blows, so that way they can fight twice in close combat. Champion number 3 in this group is going to cost 250 credits, and this character is also going to have the House Legacy upgrade as well, with the Natborn upgrade with Clever but Cautious, as well as Physical Perfection and Adaptive Mind, as well as Prime Specimen number 1 with +1 to Ballista skill. This guy's got the number 3 characteristics from the Book of Peril, as well as Mesh Armor and Twin Combo Pistols, and these are going to be the Stub Gun / Plasma Pistols that the House Goliath guys can have. They also have double up on the Dum-Dum rounds, so that way they have Strength 4 attacks on the Stub Guns, and you give this guy the Gunslinger skill, so that way he doesn't suffer the -1 to hit against when shooting in close combat. Now, Hunter number 1 is going to cost you 130 credits. This guy also has a House Goliath Legacy as well. He's also got the Vatborn upgrade with Thermal Hardening, giving him +1 to his toughness. He's got characteristic number 3 from the Book of Peril, as well as Mesh Armor, Stub Cannon, as well as a Stub Gun for a backup weapon. Hunter number 2 is also going to cost 130 credits as well, and is equipped exactly the same way as Hunter number 1. Hunter number 3 is going to cost you 175 credits. This fighter's got the House Goliath Legacy as well as Vatborn upgrade with Thermal Hardening with +1 toughness. Characteristic number 3 as well as Mesh Armor, as well as a Combat Pistol with Stub Gun / Plasma Pistol combo with Dum-Dum rounds for that, as well as a Power Knife for close combat. So that's going to be guys be using for close quarters battle for that character. And finally, Hunter number 4 and Hunter number 5. Hunter number 4 is going to cost you 155 credits. This fighter is going to have the House Goliath Legacy as well as the Vatborn upgrade with Thermal Hardening, giving them +1 to their toughness. They have characteristic number 3 from the Book of Peril, as well as Mesh Armor for that 5-up armor save. They have armor with a Spudjacker, which is represented by one of those little pick things those guys are carrying, as well as blasting charges. And then Hunter number 5 is going to cost you 180 credits. This guy's going to have a House Goliath Legacy with Vatborn, Thermal Hardening for +1 toughness. Characteristic number 3 from the Book of Peril, as well as Mesh Armor. And this guy's got a Bolt Pistol with a Gun Shroud, as well as a Brute Cleaver. Now this guy's going to be that interesting looking fighter. He's got that crossbow looking weapon, so we're going to pretend that it's a Bolt Pistol with a Gun Shroud on to make it silent, and then a Brute Cleaver for that huge axe that that character is also carrying as well. And this is pretty much the list that you're going to use for your very first campaign of Necromunda. Now, when it comes to the campaign development for the Hernkyn Pioneers, for the Ash Waste vehicles, if you really want to actually play in the Ash Waste, that would be the best way to do it, I think. The Hernkyn Pioneers are pretty cool looking with their 3 trikes that they have. You can use those for medium vehicles and then use your fighters to board those vehicles as well as to take off of them, so it'd be kind of nice as well. Now, if you're not going to go out to the Ash Waste, you can spend the rest of your credits upgrading your fighters with photo goggles as well as respirator as well as better armor as well. I would start with getting them like photo goggles as well as respirators first, so that way they don't have to worry about environmental conditions either way. You could also get them them armored undersuits to give them that +1 armor save to their body armor, as well as give them Gutterforge cloaks. And you can say that their long coats are those Gutterforge cloaks, so we're giving them a 5 board save against any environmental attacks. For example, if you took mesh armor, armored undersuit, as well as Gutterforge cloaks, it's going to drop them down to a 3-up armor save with a 5-up armor save against environmental effects. You throw on respirators, give them additional toughness against any toxic attacks as well. So there's a lot of things you could do with that group. Now, in my opinion, you could also upgrade weapons if necessary. So if you want to get better weapons for these guys, feel free to do so. Same thing with any brutes, hanger-ons, as well as hired guns. If you notice, I don't include that in this list or any alliances either, because I'm just going with the assumption that you want to use this one specific box set in your games of Necromunda. So in conclusion, the ultimate goal is to be able to use the same set of miniatures for multiple games, because you can save a ton of money to do that. And plus, we're going to use that same age-old adage that every miniature is a Necromunda miniature because of how crazy the Necromunda setting is, and almost anything could fit within that campaign setting as well. Not to mention, those Hernkyn Yaegirs look really, really cool. They're very beautiful miniatures with a lot of characters, so I think they would look really great and actually fit into the mystique of Necromunda as well. And if you guys have any other recommendations that you want to suggest in the comments, please put it down in the comments below. So if you wanted me to make a list of how to use some other kind of 40k or other kind of box set of miniatures and how I can fit this into the Underhive, please, challenge accepted. Put it down in the comments. I'll see how I can do to make you a 2,000 point list to see how you can use that in your future games. So that's good for those of you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. You guys' input is valuable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all these greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this week, guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.